Welcome to Music Guru, where rock and metal never die and every classic note still matters. Well, Kiss has sold millions of records, they've lit hundreds if not thousands of guitars on fire, stood on dozens, scores, hundreds of stages, and shook the very earth itself with their riffs and their savage hard rock attack. So when a rock legend like Ace Frehley names the greatest band of all time, you have to listen. So who really deserves this crown, and does Ace have the best pick? Let's look at a few contenders before we reveal who he ultimately chose. So the first contender in my mind was the Beatles, and the reason is because so many aspiring musicians got their start from seeing the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show, and I know that Ace was among the throngs of fascinated viewers in the Beatles invasion for everything that it was worth. So even though they're not a super hard rock band, I thought perhaps Ace would have picked the Beatles as the greatest band in history because, let's face it, a lot of people do, and especially people from his generation. Of course, I was not right about that. That was not the band that Ace chose. Contender number 2 for me was the Rolling Stones, and the reason that I chose the Rolling Stones is because I've heard Ace talk many times about how much he loves the band and how much he in particular loves Keith Richards. And I mean, there are Ace qualities that definitely resonate with the Rolling Stones, with his deep roots in the blues and his kind of dirty sound and a little bit of an unevenness to his playing, kind of like a sloppy bar band approach. I could see where the Rolling Stones could have been a huge influence on Ace. Number 3 was the band The Who, and the reason that I picked Who as a possibility was because Ace has said many times that The Who was his favorite band when he was a teenager, and that he thought that Pete Townsend exemplified aggressive guitar playing, and he was able to almost create stadium rock with his early guitar works with The Who. And for Ace, the ability to sit down and play an entire album on acoustic guitar like Tommy or Quadrophenia or something like that was kind of the way he learned his way around the neck of the guitar. So The Who, any way you slice it, was always an extremely important band for Ace. But that said, they did not top the list. So let's listen to what Ace actually had to say right here.
Well, for me, it's probably Led Zeppelin. I was at their first New York appearance at the Fillmore East. They were opening up for Iron Butterfly, and I'll never forget that as long as I live. They just commanded the audience, and they were the opening band. And then after they finished performing, half the people in the Fillmore East walked out on the headliner.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty embarrassing for Iron Butterfly. But, everybody was there to see Led Zeppelin. A lot of industry people were there. I remember that night very well. I was about 17, I think.
The top of the list, surprise, surprise, went to the band Led Zeppelin. And Ace said that from the moment that he heard Good Times, Bad Times, he knew that not only was Led Zeppelin one of the greatest bands in history, but Jimmy Page was one of the great guitarists in the history of rock. So my question to you is, do you agree with Ace? Do you think that Led Zeppelin is the greatest band of all time? And if not, who is your pick for the greatest classic rock band of all time? Now, those of you who follow this channel will know that I would not agree with Ace's appraisal of Zeppelin as being the greatest band of all time, although I think they are one of the greatest bands of all time. And for now, I'm going to hold off on telling you who is my pick. Let's see what you have to say, and maybe I'll do a follow-up video to let you know who I think is the greatest classic rock band of all time. This is what I think, but what really matters is what you think. So if you have an idea about this or any other topic connected to classic or contemporary music, please drop it in the section below, and remember to like and subscribe. Thanks a lot. Music Guru here, asking you to help us on our march to 10,000 subscribers.